So as I was walking up the road, I was heading to the back side of the lake to try to get a better look at the marsh. There's a few fields up here that I wanted to see if they'd planted beans in, because I wanted to be able to do a little glassing throughout the day. This was the first time, so the temperature dropped here this weekend and dropped down into the 70s, so things were starting to cool off. I believe this was the first day it was starting to get cool. So as I was heading down the road, I think I saw a doe and a couple fawns, and I was watching them in the road, and then this young buck came out, a little 2-year-old, I guess. And as I was thinking about it, I had never seen a spotted fawn interact with a buck, so I thought this whole little thing was pretty interesting. I'm standing in the road about probably 80 yards from them. Fawn just acts like he doesn't know what to think about this buck. Keeps following him back and forth. I was trying to watch this buck from the side of the road. I couldn't figure out if he'd bedded right there. I eventually lost sight of him. The little guy just keeps running back and forth. He's like, what's on top of your head? I want some of those. The other fawn's looking at him like, Chip, get away from there. You don't know that dude? So here the buck moved off, so this is when I started walking up the road. These does thought they'd check me out. As I moved up a little ways, I made it up to the field, and it was full of CRP. They hadn't planted anything in it. I saw this doe moving up the fire lane. She had a little fawn with her. So I just kind of stood right there on the side of the road and watched. So at this point, I'm probably about, I don't know, 30 yards from her. And I do have blue jeans on, but I am wearing my Sanctuary Assassin hoodie. The Sanctuary Assassin, that was a design I put together. It resembles a lot of the bedding area I hunt. This little fawn right here was probably the highlight of the morning, honestly. He must have got within 12 or 15 feet. Been leaving it in an autofocus. I quit doing manual focus just because it changes so much hunting, and especially when you're one person, it's hard to keep everything dialed in without losing focus on moving subjects. kind of walked out in the road and looked at me and then turns around and walks right back into the grass.
I was just walking up the road. They looked right at me multiple times.
So then here I went out to one of my other areas, big CRP field. Got a lot of good bedding out there. There's agriculture all the way around it. These deer were coming in almost downwind of me, which was not the main area I was trying to watch. And this was the first deer I saw. A little buck got up on a tree line back of the CRP field. Looking at him through the spotting scope, he's probably roughly 900 yards. At this point, I noticed a bunch of does getting up, within 150, 200 yards. And I'd been watching this CRP field all afternoon for a couple hours. And all at once, just before dark, they just start popping up out of the middle of the field, bedded up under the brush and the shady areas. Here's another little buck moving up the fire lane. He was coming out of the bedding area I was watching. I'd seen a buck in here last year I was hoping to run into. I'm not sure if he made it or not. This doe got up pretty close. I really enjoyed the video, just the way the wind was blowing through the grass. You can just barely see the doe coming through the grass. It looked pretty cool to me. Here we start seeing some older bucks. This buck looks to be about 3.5 years old. Not quite what we're looking for, but it's fun to sit there and watch them. This is a huge area and plenty of time to catch a big one cruising through. Here comes another one. Seems to be a little bit younger. These bucks kind of moved around all evening in that area before they moved off into the cornfield. But it was pretty interesting to see how the deer staged, and the does and the young bucks would bed first, and then as you get deeper into the cover, you'd start seeing the older bucks move out of the deep cover. So it was a great learning experience. Never did quite find what I was looking for in that area, but if these guys make it through, there's definitely a lot of potential for them through next year. This one, it'll be a good buck if he can make it.